Hey, tell Steve Harvey I don't want her.
Stuff to yourself and keeping it private and learning, when to talk and when not.
Right, wait a minute. Future is still looking salty about Lori cutting him off like it was nothing on New Year's, and it's getting real obvious. This is the same guy who was laughing at her, saying she messed up big time by letting Michael be Jordan go right before he leveled up and became an Oscar-winning actor. Now, here's where it gets messy. People are saying Lori actually regrets walking away and has been trying to spin the block and get back with Michael, even before that Oscar glow up. But Michael? He's not even entertaining it. Not a text, not a glance, nothing.
These two dudes right here matter to me in a way where, like he say, like if we going through something, we'll call each other because we feel for each other, because we know the real person.
Right, yeah.
I know they lying about you online.
She had her shot and it's done, and now she's stuck thinking about what could have been. But the wild part is Future jumping right into this situation like he's got a say in it. This is the same man who used to call Michael a lame not even that long ago. So the switch up is loud. And honestly, a lot of people aren't even shocked, because when they broke up, he already made things messy on his own. Lori was moving quiet, keeping it respectful, and he still turned it into a whole public situation. It's clear he never really let it go. Especially since Michael was the next guy she dated right after him, that hit his ego hard. He even threw shots in his track, rapping Magic City, "I'm the owner, tell Steve Harvey I don't want her." That line alone said everything about how he was feeling. There was even a longer version of his verse that leaked right when news dropped about her and Michael's relationship. And this one went way further than what he officially released. In that version, he said, "Must have forgot to tell her daddy, she begged me not to leave. Put baguettes on your ankles damn near up to your knees." And he didn't stop there, he added, "She didn't have a choice but to go fall lame after me, baby." That line had people looking at him sideways because he was really putting her on blast in a major way. He was dragging her through it with those lyrics, no filter at all. Like that wasn't enough. He even posted a clip of him and Lori sitting in the car together and captioned it, "Never given a messy girl a chance." My apologies to my fans. That post had people talking crazy online, and many thought that was the final chapter of this whole situation. Honestly, most people believed it was over at that point. Lori probably thought so too, but everything lit back up again the second Michael won that Best Actor Oscar. While fans were celebrating him, others instantly brought Lori's name back into the mix, saying she had to be somewhere thinking about how things played out. And to be fair, people started connecting the dots because his career has been going up fast since they split. Not saying he wasn't already doing his thing, but now it's on a whole different level. Comments started popping up like Lori Harvey now knows she fumbled Michael B. Jordan, after he won the Oscars, he was the prize, and I guess Lori Harvey no longer serves Michael Jordan, ain't it? Funny how fast everything can flip in just a few years. One minute things look one way, and the next, Michael is standing at the top with an Academy Award, while Lori is just moving regular in comparison. People are now saying, Michael B. Jordan was always the real prize, and she just didn't see his full value at the time. Right when the internet started dragging Lori, things got even messier behind the scenes. A source close to her reportedly ran to the blogs, claiming she's been trying hard to get back in contact with Michael ever since that Oscar win. And it doesn't even stop there. Word is she had already been trying to reach him before he won, but he wasn't responding at all. No calls picked up, no messages answered, nothing. He's completely shut the door. What makes this whole situation even more interesting is how different things looked when they first broke up. Back then, Lori seemed like she had the upper hand, and her side was controlling the story. She and her mom, Marjorie, were pushing claims that Michael preferred dating white women, and since he stayed quiet, that narrative kept spreading for a while, and Marjorie didn't stay quiet either. She added to the chatter by posting a clip of Jennifer Lewis saying, "If you sit in it for too long, it stops smelling," which many people took as a subtle but shady message aimed right at the situation. So come out of there! But the shade didn't stop at her mom's post. It actually got even louder. Lori stepped right in after that and threw her own jab by posting a photo of a license plate on her IG story that read, "Dump him." People immediately caught that and connected it straight to Michael. Then she doubled down with an interview talking about how he didn't meet her standards for the kind of man she wants to settle down with. What makes it wild is that when they were together, she was saying the complete opposite. The energy was totally different back then, which is why a lot of people started side-eyeing the sudden switch. And here's where things really don't add up. She had all this to say about Michael, but at the same time had no issue being with Future. The same Future people always bring up for his complicated personal life and his own views on relationships. That's why some folks are now saying it's not surprising he's speaking on her the way he is, especially when Michael was in the picture after him. A lot of people believe Michael was the most stable relationship she had, and things could have gone somewhere serious. Instead, she moved on and started seeing Damson Idris. No disrespect to him, but people keep comparing and saying he's not on the same level as Michael B. Jordan, and that comparison keeps coming up in conversations, and through all of this back and forth, one thing that stands out is Steve Harvey never publicly disrespected Michael or tried to distance himself from him, even with everything being said online. In fact, they even ran into each other at a basketball game recently, and it was nothing but respect between them. No tension, no awkwardness, just good energy all around. But then it took a turn after that. Steve later shared that Lori wasn't feeling that meetup at all and actually told him not to speak to Michael again. Girl, that raised a lot of eyebrows. Now, when it comes to Future, it's a little confusing why he feels like he can clown Lori over Michael, but at the same time, he's not the only one saying it, because the internet has been on the same wave. And looking at how everything played out, a lot of people think Lori didn't come out on top in this situation. A few years back, the narrative was completely different. People were saying Michael was the one who messed things up, especially when Lori stepped out with Damson Idris and looked unbothered. But now, fast forward to 2026, and the tables have clearly turned. Michael is now an Oscar-winning actor, and his career is on another level. Meanwhile, Damson is being linked to opportunities like possibly joining the next Black Panther project, and people keep making comparisons that don't slow down. Whether Lori agrees or not, many are saying she downgraded and walked away from something that could have been long-term, and the internet is not letting this story rest at all. Every time Michael levels up, Lori's name somehow gets pulled right back into the conversation, and people keep replaying everything like it just happened yesterday. It's like folks have already picked a side, and they're not switching up anytime soon. What's really making things louder is how Michael has been moving. No drama, no responding, just focusing on his career and stacking wins. That silence is speaking for him, and a lot of people are reading it as him completely unbothered by anything from the past. Meanwhile, Lori's every move keeps getting analyzed, compared, and questioned online. Then you've got Future still throwing little comments here and there, which only keeps the situation alive. Some people think he's trolling, others think he's still stuck on how everything went down, especially with how quickly she moved on after him. Either way, his name being attached to this just adds more noise to an already messy situation. At the end of the day, this whole situation turned into one of those stories people keep bringing up as an example of how fast things can change. One decision, one breakup, and suddenly the entire narrative flips, and now everybody is watching how it all plays out next. And now people are starting to look at the bigger picture, not just the drama, but the timing of everything. The way things lined up has folks questioning if Lori underestimated what she had with Michael or if she just thought there was something better out there. Because the way his life shifted after that breakup is hard to ignore. You've got Michael out here collecting major wins, building his name even stronger, and staying locked in with no distractions. That kind of focus is what people respect, and it's exactly why the public opinion has flipped so hard in his favor. Meanwhile, Lori is still in the spotlight, but for very different reasons, and not all of them are working in her favor. What really gets people talking is how relationships in Hollywood move fast, but the consequences stick around even longer. One move can change how the public sees you for years, and this situation is starting to look like one of those moments. Now, every time her name comes up, it's tied back to Michael in some way, and that comparison just won't go away. Fair or not, people have already built their own conclusions, and they keep running with them every single time something new pops up. And at this point, it's not even just about who dated who anymore. It's about how everything played out in public. People are treating this like a full storyline, tracking every move, every post, and every rumor, like it's part of something bigger. That's why the conversation keeps coming back, because it never really closed. What makes it stick even more is how both of them handled things so differently after the breakup. Michael stayed low, focused, and let his work speak for itself, while Lori stayed visible and kept moving in a way that always had people talking. That contrast is what keeps fueling the debate online. You can see it every time there's an update. If Michael wins something, his name trends, and right behind it, people start bringing Lori into it again. If Lori posts anything, the comments instantly fill up with comparisons, questions, and opinions that just don't stop. At the end of it all, this situation turned into one of those long-running topics that people refuse to drop. No matter how much time passes, the internet keeps circling back, adding new layers, new takes, and keeping the story alive like it never really ended. And what really stands out now is how public opinion has completely flipped over time. Back then, people were defending Lori heavy, saying she knew her worth and made the right move. Now, those same conversations look totally different, and the tone online has shifted in a major way. A lot of it comes down to results. People pay attention to who's winning, who's growing, and who seems to be moving forward without looking back. Right now, Michael fits that image perfectly, and that's why so many are giving him credit. Meanwhile, Lori keeps getting tied to past decisions, and the internet is not letting her move on from it easily. It also shows how fast narratives can be built and then torn down. One moment, someone is praised for walking away, and the next, they're being questioned for that same decision. That's the pressure that comes with living everything out in the spotlight, where every move gets judged in real time. So now, every new success, every new rumor, every little update just adds more to the story. And instead of fading out, it keeps getting louder, with people watching closely to see if anything will finally change the way this whole situation is being talked about. And honestly, the biggest takeaway from all of this is how one decision can follow you for years. What seemed like just another breakup at the time has turned into a long-running conversation that keeps popping back up whenever either of their names trends. People online have basically turned this into a lesson about timing, choices, and how fast things can change. One minute, everything looks replaceable, and the next, that same situation starts looking rare. That's why so many keep saying this wasn't just any relationship, it was one that had real potential if things played out differently. At the same time, it also shows how the internet never really forgets. Every old clip, every quote, every post gets brought back and reanalyzed with a new perspective. What didn't seem like a big deal before suddenly gets looked at in a completely different way. Now the story has taken on a life of its own, with people constantly debating who made the right move and who didn't. And until something major shifts or both sides fully move on in a way that changes the narrative, this is one of those situations that's going to keep getting talked about again and again. As expected, people had a lot to say about all of this. One person wrote, Michael B. Jordan ignoring Lori's congrats like he ignored the red flags in 2022. Level up so hard the past can't even get a text back. And that comment alone had people going back and forth. Another person said, men get the biggest ego the second they start winning. Imagine straight up ignoring calls from the one person who held you down when you had literally nothing. So now it's a full debate online, with some people backing Michael's silence and others calling it out, and it doesn't look like the conversation is slowing down anytime soon. But what do you think about all of this? Drop your thoughts in the comments, make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and stay tuned for more updates.